Hello, and welcome to Math Lessons with Linda. Today's topic is solving quadratic trig equations, and the one we're going to work on first is 4 sine squared theta minus 3 equals 0. So this is a quadratic because my highest degree is a squared, just like we would have in any other kind of a quadratic. And for this one, we are going to solve using inverse operations. So you'll see what I mean. We're going to isolate our sine theta in order to solve. So the first thing I'm going to do is add 3 to both sides. So I have 4 sine squared theta equals 3. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So I have sine squared theta is equal to 3 over 4. Now, I've been doing and undoing the signs on my adding 3, dividing by 4. So now I'm going to undo the sine squared by taking the square root of both sides. So when I do that, I get the sine of theta is equal to now plus or minus the square root of 3. And then I can take the square root of 4. In the denominator, I'm going to have 2. Don't forget that you will have a positive and a negative solution for this when you take the square root. So what that does is it sets up these two smaller equations. Sine theta is now equal to positive square root of 3 over 2. Or the sine of theta is equal to negative square root of 3 over 2. So there are 2 places on the unit circle where the sign is positive. That would be in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. So if you're using a calculator and plugging in the values for inverse sine of square root of 3 over 2, that's how you'll get your theta. The first value that you should get is at 60 degrees. So that's my quadrant 1 value. For quadrant 2, since 60 is my reference angle, I will do 180 minus the 60. That means my other value for theta, where it's positive for square root of 3 over 2, is 120 degrees. Here are 2 of our solutions. So now remember, we have to go back and do the negative values. So since we have 60 for our reference angle, we can go ahead and find quadrant 3 and quadrant 4 just using those values. So for quadrant 3, it would be 180 plus my 60. So 240 degrees in quadrant 3. And for quadrant 4, it'd be 360 minus 60. So 300 degrees. So it turns out for this problem, I end up with 4 solutions. They are all correct and they will all check out. And that is how you solve a quadratic trig equation when we use inverse operations.